It was the evening of May 3, 2007, in the resort town of Praia da Luz, Portugal. Families were settling into their holiday apartments, the streets quieting under the fading sunlight. In one apartment, 3-year-old Madeleine McCann was put to bed as her parents joined friends for dinner nearby. Hours later, she was gone, vanished from her room without a trace. I am Haris Ali Khan, and you are watching Haris Files. Today, we will examine the timeline of events, the evidence collected, and the theories that have persisted around the case, exploring one of the most complex and widely followed missing person mysteries of the 21st century. It was the evening of May 3, 2007, in Praia da Luz, a quiet resort town on the southern coast of Portugal. Holiday apartments lined the streets, families moved slowly along sidewalks, and the hum of evening activity mixed with the gentle sound of the Atlantic waves nearby. In one apartment, 3-year-old Madeleine McCann was settling in for the night, tucked into bed as her parents Kate and Jerry joined friends for dinner just a short walk away. The apartment was secure, the doors locked, yet within hours Madeleine would be gone. Her disappearance happened in broad daylight while her parents remained within sight, leaving a confusion that would ripple far beyond the resort. I am Haris Ali Khan, and you are watching Haris Files. On this channel, we will take a detailed look at the timeline of events, the evidence collected, and the theories that have emerged over the years, examining one of the most widely followed and complex missing person cases of the 21st century. Holiday resorts like Praia da Luz often rely on trust and routine for safety, but even these precautions cannot always prevent the unexpected. Understanding these everyday measures helps frame the circumstances that made Madeleine's disappearance so perplexing and shocking to both her family and the wider world. Kate and Jerry McCann were a typical British family on holiday with their 3 children, including 3-year-old Madeleine. They had chosen Praia da Luz, a quiet resort town on the southern coast of Portugal, for a week-long break, staying in a modern holiday apartment complex popular with families. Their plans were simple: relax by the pool, enjoy local restaurants, and spend evenings together while keeping the children safe in their apartment. On the evening of May 3, 2007, the McCanns followed their usual routine at the Ocean Club resort in Praia da Luz, Portugal. After putting Madeleine and her younger siblings to bed, Kate and Jerry joined friends at a nearby restaurant, keeping the children in sight and checking on them at regular intervals. The apartment itself was secure, the doors locked, yet within hours Madeleine would be gone. Her disappearance happened in broad daylight while her parents remained within sight, leaving a confusion that would ripple far beyond the resort. From a professional standpoint, children on holiday are always at increased risk, particularly in open shared complexes where parents rely on visual checks rather than constant supervision. While some early observations, like noises reported by neighbors or unlocked doors, may seem minor, investigators treat these details seriously, as they can indicate vulnerabilities in routine security. In this context, even small anomalies can become significant clues in understanding how Madeleine's disappearance occurred and why it became an international concern. On the evening of May 3, 2007, the McCanns followed their usual routine at the Ocean Club resort in Praia da Luz, Portugal. After putting Madeleine and her younger siblings to bed, Kate and Jerry joined friends at a nearby restaurant, keeping the children in sight and checking on them at regular intervals. The apartment itself was secure, the doors locked, yet within hours Madeleine would be gone. Her disappearance happened in broad daylight while her parents remained within sight, leaving a confusion that would ripple far beyond the resort. Witness statements from the parents described a calm evening with nothing to suggest impending danger. Neighbors reported hearing unusual noises, though the accounts varied on timing and content. Resort staff confirmed that the family had been attentive and had used the check-in procedure typical for the complex, but no one observed any suspicious activity outside the apartments. Other holiday guests later recalled seeing people near the building, though details were inconsistent. Immediately, panic set in. Kate and Jerry alerted the hotel management, who assisted in searching the apartment and nearby areas. Portuguese police were called, and initial perimeter checks began. Within hours, local authorities had cordoned off the area and begun collecting evidence. Early findings included footprints near the apartment, vehicle logs from nearby streets, and the apartment layout itself, which revealed multiple points of entry and exit. CCTV footage from surrounding areas was limited, capturing some activity but no clear indication of Madeleine's movements. Conflicting accounts and gaps in the timeline complicated the investigation. Witnesses differed on when they last saw Madeleine and what noises or disturbances occurred during the evening. Small discrepancies, such as the timing of parent checks and reports of figures near the apartments, created uncertainty that investigators have continued to grapple with over the years. Experts highlight that the suddenness of the disappearance, combined with the controlled and familiar environment, makes the case particularly puzzling. A child vanished from a secured apartment while under the watch of responsible parents, drawing immediate attention not only locally but across the globe. The unusual circumstances, the inconsistencies in witness accounts, and the lack of a clear trail contributed to the intense international scrutiny and remain central to the ongoing mystery of Madeleine McCann's disappearance. Following the discovery that Madeleine McCann was missing, Portuguese authorities launched an immediate investigation. Local police conducted interviews with the McCanns, their friends, hotel staff, and neighbors, gathering statements and attempting to reconstruct the timeline. The case was initially classified as a suspected abduction, though officers faced the challenge of piecing together events from fragmented accounts. As the investigation progressed, international support arrived. Scotland Yard dispatched specialized units to assist, providing expertise in missing person cases and cross-border coordination. Teams focused on reviewing evidence, analyzing witness statements, and advising on investigative strategies. Physical searches were extensive. Police combed the apartment complex, nearby beaches, and the surrounding streets. Traffic monitoring and vehicle logs were reviewed to trace any suspicious activity. Early forensic work included collecting fingerprints, examining potential DNA evidence, and reviewing CCTV footage, though coverage was limited and many cameras offered only partial views. Investigators quickly encountered contradictions and gaps. Witnesses provided conflicting accounts of timing and movements. Some reports of sounds or figures near the apartments could not be verified. Communication challenges and incomplete evidence slowed progress, leaving investigators with a mixture of leads, none of which could be immediately confirmed. Professional commentary notes that the case highlighted significant investigative challenges. Jurisdictional limitations, language barriers, and the novelty of managing a high-profile international missing person case created obstacles. Early procedural missteps, combined with the complexity of coordinating local and international resources, made solving the disappearance especially difficult. Despite the rapid response and extensive effort, critical questions remained unanswered, setting the stage for a long-running investigation that continues to this day. One of the earliest and most widely considered theories is that Madeleine McCann was abducted by a stranger or opportunistic criminal. Supporters of this theory point to the unlocked apartment doors, her proximity to other families, and the possibility of an intruder taking advantage of the quiet resort environment. Critics note that no clear evidence of forced entry or abduction has ever been found, and surveillance footage provides limited insight. Another theory suggests familial involvement or an accidental death followed by a cover-up. While investigators explored this possibility, no credible evidence has emerged linking the parents to wrongdoing. Experts often regard this theory as unlikely, but it remains part of public speculation due to the lack of a confirmed outcome. A third line of thought considers human trafficking or organized crime. Some theorists propose that Madeleine was targeted for abduction beyond the resort, potentially for illegal networks or exploitation. While authorities have investigated such scenarios, no verified connections to trafficking or organized crime have been established. Finally, misidentification, hoaxes, or false sightings complicate the case further. Over the years, numerous alleged sightings of Madeleine have been reported across Europe and beyond, yet each has been investigated and discounted, leaving only uncertainty. Each theory carries pros and cons. Abduction by a stranger aligns with the sudden disappearance but lacks physical evidence. Accidental death or familial involvement accounts for secrecy, yet is not supported by forensic findings. Organized crime explanations are plausible given the child's vulnerability, but remain unproven. False sightings and hoaxes highlight the difficulties of separating credible leads from misinformation. Experts emphasize that unresolved inconsistencies continue to challenge investigators. Conflicting witness statements, gaps in the timeline, and unverified reports prevent definitive conclusions. These enduring uncertainties are part of what has made the disappearance of Madeleine McCann one of the most perplexing and widely discussed missing persons cases of the 21st century. The disappearance of Madeleine McCann remains one of the most widely followed and perplexing missing persons cases in recent history. On the evening of May 3, 2007, she vanished from her holiday apartment in Praia da Luz while her parents dined nearby, setting off an immediate and extensive search. Early evidence included footprints near the apartment, limited CCTV footage, and witness accounts, though none provided a clear explanation. Over the years, investigations have explored multiple theories, including abduction by a stranger, accidental death with concealment, involvement of organized crime or trafficking networks, and false sightings or hoaxes. Despite extensive efforts by Portuguese authorities, Scotland Yard, and private investigators, fundamental questions remain unresolved. Madeleine's fate, her current location, and the identity of those responsible have never been conclusively determined. Conflicting statements, gaps in evidence, and unverified leads have left the case clouded in uncertainty. The implications extend beyond this single disappearance. The case highlights challenges in child safety, the importance of international coordination in missing persons investigations, and the influence of media attention on the direction and public perception of a case. Professional analysis emphasizes that the combination of these factors, alongside the suddenness and unusual circumstances of the disappearance, is why the case continues to attract study and discussion worldwide. Ultimately, Madeleine McCann's disappearance invites reflection. Even decades later, some elements may never be fully resolved, leaving questions that remain open and a story that continues to demand careful attention, thorough investigation, and thoughtful consideration of the enduring mystery.